quarter, for the fourth quarter of 2017, you can see the performance across there was 4.12%, ending the year. A year-to-date number, so more or less a 12-month number, year 2017 was 11.03%. Of course, the 1 year is the same number there listed. 3-year number is 5.42, and then going back to the inception, which goes back about 15 years, I believe, was 6.09%.
Look at that the inception number.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a very favorable year, and I'm sure Chris will comment on that here in a few minutes. Over in the second area, over on the right-hand side with the line chart there, quarter to date, again, this is beginning October 1st of last year, so the balance was $121,893,000 beginning. With withdrawals, between deposits and withdrawals, it was 1.8 million of withdrawals. Appreciation or growth in the portfolio was 5 million, and then again ending the year-end value as of 12/31 was $125,018,262.
January, the fund had a balance of 127 million. We were up 2.5% at the end of January. Through yesterday, we actually stand at 122,626,000. So we're down about 1%. We've gotten back, some of that here the last 4 or 5 days. Right now the market is up today, but again, I think Chris will speak to what kind of has happened here in the last 2 weeks. We're not panicked. We do think this is more of a typical correction or a pullback. The fundamentals of the economy are still pretty strong, and so we're not panicking. We don't think this is a time to make a quick rush to judgment. We still think things are on the right track, but Chris will elaborate a little bit more on that. Our allocations really have stayed in line. We're according to our investment policy with stocks right now, we're at 60%, which is the high point of our target, or a range that we can be in. Fixed income is at the low point at 30%. REITs are at 5%, which is kind of our target, and cash is at 5% as well. So we're all within the range of the investment policy that the board has approved at this point. So any questions in general about that? The other, I think he had a chance to distribute, and every year at this meeting, this first meeting, it's our annual review meeting essentially. We bring this back to the pension board to make sure that the pension board itself is still comfortable with the existing policy, or if we need to update it or make any changes. So that was a purpose that we got that over to you earlier to see.
Not recommending.
It's up to you. I don't know. I don't think, as far as I know, is the allocations that are in there. You're not recommending any changes to those allocations, right?
Correct. The only one, if you want to call it a recommendation or a suggestion, a thought, is we've been looking at maybe suggesting a global equity manager. And I know in the past the pension board's feeling was they wanted to stay here in the U.S. We've had some changes since that was discussed on the pension board, and we just thought it was our responsibility to bring that up. The global economy is doing much better, and there perhaps could be some opportunity to add some growth to the pension. Not only growth, but I think more importantly diversification, and a little bit some risk management as well by diversifying a little bit more. So it's just something I think should be considered anyway. If the pension board would be open to that, we'd have to maybe adjust the allocations here a little bit to include kind of global equities in there. And our recommendation would probably be not to exceed 5% of the portfolio, just to kind of get our feet wet, so to speak, because we have not had it in the pension plan.
I personally, if I may,
Sure.
believe in supporting American jobs, and that is one of the reasons I like what it says about a preponderance of investments in United States Treasury, federal agencies, and U.S. government guaranteed obligations. We did bend because we realized there are foreign companies doing business in the United States. A perfect local example is Bayer, and they are a phenomenal employer and significant in our community. I'm okay with that, but the world is so unstable and we have no say in what goes on in the world, and I'm really not looking to expand into a global market, my personal observation.
Yeah, and certainly I understand that. That's kind of been some of the thought process behind it.
Yeah.
We, if again, I'm not saying to do this, but if we did, we would be suggesting a global equity manager, okay? And that's different than an international manager. An international manager would have to definitely invest with foreign companies. A global equity manager would have the ability to invest in U.S. companies if they felt like that's the best place to be. So it wouldn't absolutely be that 5%, wouldn't absolutely be 100% in foreign companies. Just to let you know the difference there between international and global managers.
So what you're suggesting is a grouping of different companies on the global market.
Mm-hmm.
How strongly are you recommending it? Is this something you would think we should do, or are you just?
Well, frankly, I'm just bringing it up. I know how the pension board in the past, how they felt about, you know, what John was expressing, but it is something that we do use in our other plans and portfolios.
You know, I'm not opposed to it at this point. I think it's just another piece. I think the fact that you explained it, that they're not going to be strictly 100% international, they can do their money in U.S. companies, I think that will fit. I mean, global includes the U.S., so I think we're not strictly international. And the fact that we have so many companies here now that are just in London County that are based in other countries, so.
Would it be unfair or overburdensome to ask you to put together a proposal?
Yeah, we can do that.
I think that way rather than looking at something that we don't have defined, if you could define
Right.
something more clearly, we might want to consider it.
Okay. Yeah, we weren't looking to do anything today anyway,
Yeah.
so maybe our next turnaround here will put some more information in your hands and maybe be able to make a plan. With that said, I think I would like, if it's all right, if you're okay with the investment policy, if everybody's amenable to that, just get signatures on that, Jamie, just for the year. So,
I do have one other question.
Okay.
In reviewing this, I know I had asked for this before, but under safekeeping it says that the custodian shall produce statements at least quarterly, which you do, but listing the name and value of all assets held, and I don't think that's in here.
it's not in here. We do send out monthly statements. I'm not sure who gets those here. Who does? Angel.
We have one.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if they're electronic, it could be forwarded to us,
No, they come
because
on paper.
I don't get to see them.
Yeah, we can get you electronic copies. That's.
A PDF file would be wonderful.
Yep, we can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do have them, but we'll make sure you send them maybe to Jamie and he can distribute.
Yeah.
Do we need to accept this policy as it exists?
If you're not changing it, then it stays the same. It stands as is.
I just have one question. Some of the companies, the American companies or US companies we already invest in, they could already be doing international or global
Absolutely.
companies, correct?